Now, I need to make this clear, guys, I'm not an event organizer, I'm not a promoter for events, but on the 31st of August, rumblings have started that there will be a March for Australia. Hi, my name's Chris, I live in Australia, and I just want to open this video up first and foremost, and a question to you watching. What makes Australia great to you? What do you love about this country? Especially with things shifting and turning, what did you used to love about this country? What used to make Australia great? Because right now, on everything I see going around me, especially over the last few years, where I've been focusing on it like a hawk, just laser-eyed in, it is getting worse and worse. It is a slippery slope, and it's not been just the last few years, it's been happening quite a bit longer than that. It feels like decades now. It's just sliding down to this certain point where it's just culminating to a huge pile of shit. Now, on this channel, I normally talk about wealth inequality. I talk about government overspending. I talk about things the government's doing in this country that's making it harder, not just for the current people living here, but for future generations. It's just getting tougher and tougher and tougher based off government decisions and decisions being made for the country that I don't think are going in the right direction. There are problems that Australia needs to focus on onshore in our country. There are problems we need to fix here before worrying about the problems happening on the other side of the world. Just as one example, the other weekend in Australia, Sydney Harbour Bridge had 100,000 people doing a march, a pro-Palestine march across the bridge. Now, I watched a lot of footage about it. I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading up on it. And I think a lot of people, they don't want genocide occurring. They don't want, war occurring. They want an end to the war. And that's well and fair to get up and march. And you know what? I'd say that is an Australian value. But there was no Australian flags in the march. From what I saw on any footage across the news, the only flags I saw were either being burnt or from a protester, a counter-protester that showed up with an Australian flag, and he got punched by some crazy-looking person with green hair.
Crowd hoisting an Australian flag. As he paraded it through the circle, the mood shifted.
And I think seeing a lot of that stuff makes a lot of Australians angry. We don't want to see our flag being burnt, and we don't want to see someone that's holding a flag, screaming out about Australia, being attacked. We don't like to see that stuff. But that's part of the divide that's occurring. So this is problems over in the Middle East coming onto Australian shores. Australians don't want problems from the Middle East over here. We have a she'll be right attitude. We want to take it easy, okay? We don't want the conflicts of the Middle East coming onto our shore. But it's divisive and it's distracting a lot of people's attention from the problems happening in our country. We have homelessness on the rise. We have people struggling to afford to pay their rent, struggling to afford to pay their mortgage. There's a housing crisis in this country right now. Drawing out some lines in a conflict on the other side of the world in the Middle East, it's not going to make your grocery shopping any cheaper. The government's now reached $1 trillion in debt, and over the next 4 years, an extra $450 billion in debt is going on it. The government spending is out of control, yet the focus is all on pro-Palestine or Israel or what the conflicts and the problems overseas. We should be focusing in on the problems in our own country first and foremost. That's why we should be looking at what can we do to contribute to Australia, to make Australia greater. The challenges that we're facing right now in the country, the economic challenges, the challenges of how your kid's going to be set up, how your grandkid's going to be set up over here, what's the quality of life that you're experiencing right now to where it should be if certain things hadn't happened recently. And what's the quality of life going to be like for your kids and your grandkids in this country if we don't start to address the core issues that impact Australia now? Now, I need to make this clear, guys. I'm not an event organizer. I'm not a promoter for events. But on the 31st of August, rumblings have started that there will be a March for Australia rally in all capital cities around the country. So if you're interested in something like that, maybe jump on Google, start searching March for Australia 31st August. Jump on Facebook and see what grassroots organisations are starting to form that up. I will attend a Brisbane one. If someone does organise it, I'll be happy to show up there, show my support and march with my fellow Australians. I would just like to see Australians uniting on Australian issues and seeing a rally, a march, a protest where there's actually Australian flags being held. Right now, I think Australia's just a few years behind where the UK is. They're dealing with their remigration rallies right now. They've got a different immigration issue to what we have over here. They have illegal immigration coming through, whereas Australia has an issue with its immigration caps. The amount of people we're letting through legally on different visa type programs. We're over 600,000 new people on visas coming into Australia right now, and that's not holiday visas for the year. But a March for Australia, it's not going to be just about immigration. It's going to be about cost of living. It's going to be about housing, about homelessness, issues that we're facing here, issues for the future of this country. You know, how are your kids going to get through this? How are your grandkids going to get through this? We need to make a stand together. As Australians, we should be able to unite and walk together on these common issues. And don't let the divisive politics out there, don't get radicalised. Okay, don't let them radicalise you to the far left. Don't let them radicalise you to the far right. Okay, we're strong, united on a common cause. We don't need these far left, far right politics. Okay, we need to focus in on what's good for Australia, what's right for Australia, what is it to be Australian. All the left wing, all the right wing, bullshit, guys. It's distracting from the core issues. So let's walk together. Let's talk about the core issues. Let's acknowledge the core issues in this country. Let's focus in on Australia's problems. But now it's time for you to leave your thoughts. What makes Australia great to you? What do you love about Australia? Or what did you used to love about Australia before things started to change? And do you think it's time that we did a march? Do you think it's time that we united together to show that we care about this country? Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one.